Hickok 45. Welcome to the Hickok 45 Talks channel, where I talk about meaningless stuff. So it doesn't say much, doesn't speak well of you for watching. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh man, something else. I got a long list of things that people have asked me to talk about. Somebody has, and so here we go. Grammar. I do something on grammar occasionally, and in one of the talks on grammar, I guess someone said, just between you and me, Hickok, my biggest pet peeve is those who say between you and I because they think it sounds smart. And he said also talk about the verbs lie and lay and all that thing. And I've had this on my notes for a long time. Oh man, people, I'm sure you come to Hickok 45 to hear about grammar talk, right? Well, the Talks channel, maybe you do. I don't know. It's kind of weird, isn't it? A gun nut talking about grammar. I don't know what. Talk about juxtaposition. Yeah, that's quite one. But anyway, well, about spilling coffee. We'll do it a little bit, okay? And again, whether you use good grammar or proper grammar, the King's English has very little to do with a person's character, right? The most important things: integrity, work ethic. Those are the most important. But I always the one reason the first one, between you and me and that kind of thing. That is one of the most common misused phrases because people think it's correct. It's like who and whom. It's when people are using whom, as I've advised, don't use whom unless you know it's objective. Okay, you're using it correctly because you don't need to. Just say who. Don't worry about it. Between you and me, that's one. And I know I was called on that somewhere. I was talking in a video and said something about somebody saying something to or giving something to John and me or whatever it was. And somebody made a comment about they would have expected proper grammar from me. Well, actually, that's what they got. They got proper grammar, and they didn't recognize it because it is objective case. If someone gave something to John and me, they gave it to me. They gave it to John, they gave it to me. And that's an easy way usually, not always, but usually to decide or figure out which is the correct case on that, whether it's me or I. But because we grew up, as I've said before, as little kids in some households. Now some households they don't talk about grammar much. They just are busy using bad grammar, passing it on to their youngsters. But many of you can relate to your mommy or your daddy when you went in and said, Billy and I, you and your brother, whatever, Billy and me want to go somewhere, or me and Billy want to do something. Me and Billy want ice cream, or Billy and me want ice cream, or something like that. No, it's Billy and I, Billy and I. So they've been correcting you on that, right? Your whole life, maybe. And so you just get in your head that, okay, whenever I say something else and then I'm the second noun or pronoun, it's I, it's not me. Okay, it's I, Billy and I. So then you end up saying that, well, you want to go to the movies with Billy and I, because it sounds correct. But it ain't correct. It's wrong, isn't it? You want to go to the movies with Billy and me. And again, you just take out the other, it's compound pronouns or compound nouns. Take out the Billy, and that'll tell you what it should be in most cases. Simple solution. You want to go to the movies with me? That doesn't hit the ear right. So it's, we just feel guilty when we say that me. It just sounds wrong in a compound situation, right? It just sounds wrong. Even when I say it and use it correctly, I know it's correct, but I know, okay, people are going to think I'm using bad grammar here, So if it's an object of any kind, it's got to be objective case. It's got to be me, not I, okay? Another simple way to think about it is if it's at the beginning of the sentence, subjective case, part of the subject of that sentence, Billy and I are going, Now you don't say I are going, I'm going, but it's I, I am going. Billy and I are going, I am going, it's I, If you're the doer in the sentence, by and large, but if you're receiving the action, it's me, it's not I. All right, so And you'll hear some really highly educated people misuse that occasionally, whether it's a newscaster or somebody. All right, the other one, I'm not going to belabor, but yeah, lie and lay. Woo! Man, that's even when I was teaching grammar, that's one I didn't belabor, but I would work with them a little bit on it. Just if nothing else, you need to realize that it's a problem. And if you're writing a paper, and you may have a grammar checker that's going to fix it for you, but at least be aware when you're entering a quicksand zone, and you might really misuse this. I like the compound parts talked about already. It's just be aware. Oh, this sounds right, but it could be wrong. That kind of deal. Because what I would do is very graphically put on the board or whatever handouts, and have the you got to have the principal parts of the verb, whatever it is. Just like if it's drink. Okay, drink. I drank yesterday, and I have drunk before. You got to know the parts of that verb, and then some people aren't even aware the word drunk is a verb. They think that's someone who drank too much whiskey, and it's not even a principal part of that verb. And they just don't want to use drunk. Sounds like you're talking about an intoxicated person, for example. But if you know the parts of that verb, just like run, ran, run, or eat, ate, eaten, if you know the parts of that verb, then okay, I got a helping verb. It's got to be drunk, or it's got to be eaten, or whatever. Well, that's the way you got to do with that verb. If you really are interested in learning it, look up the principal parts of the verb lie, L-I-E. We're not talking about telling an untruth. We're talking about reclining. Lie. What are the four principal parts of lie? Like I'm going to go lie down or something. And I did it yesterday, and I have done it before. How do you say that? And then lay, L-A-Y, it is a separate verb. It's not a part of that. It's another verb, lay, like you put something somewhere, right? Lay that book down. And that's simple. Lay the book over there. Or to go lie down for a minute. That part of the verb is not a problem. It's when you get into past tense, past participle, right? So, very quickly, reclining. I'm going to lie down. I'm going to lie back on this swing. Or that book is lying there. It's reclining there. Whatever. That's the weird one. Let's go to the other one first. Lay. The verb lay. Like you're going to lay something somewhere. You're going to put something somewhere. I'm going to lay this paper down over there, okay? That's to put. That has nothing to do with you reclining. You're going to put something somewhere. So, that was easier. Like if I said, lay the book there. You say, okay, I did. I laid it right there. I laid the book right there. L-A-I-D, past tense. No problem. And I have laid the book there before. Even with a helping verb, past participle. I have laid the book there every day. Or I have laid the papers. I have laid the papers on your desk. I have done that. Like you asked, I have laid those papers on your desk. I laid them there yesterday. I will lay them there tomorrow, or whatever, okay? That was not a big deal. Lay, laid, laid. To put something somewhere, all right? Don't confuse it with lying around. Lie is the tough one, reclining. So, I'm tired. I'm going to lie down. No problem. I was tired yesterday, and guess what I did? I blank on the couch for an hour because I was tired. Now, what did I do? I lied on the couch because I was tired. I laid on the couch because I was tired. Nope. Hit the buzzer. It's wrong. That's the tricky one. The verb lie, meaning to just lie down to recline. The principal parts of that are, of course, you always have the ing form of any verb, but the three main principal parts of lie are lie, of course, past tense, L-A-Y, lay. That's the weird one. Past tense of lie is L-A-Y. Yeah, if you didn't know that, now you understand why it is such a weird verb and so strange. What's the past participle of lie? L-A-I-N, lain. I have lain. Okay, so the proper way to say it, and probably 5 people on planet Earth use it correctly, so you never hear it used correctly. Then on top of that, when you do hear it used correctly, it doesn't register, right? So I'm going to lie down right now. Yesterday, I lay on the couch for a couple hours. That is correct. Yeah, I lay down yesterday for a couple hours. That's what I did yesterday. And all week long, I have been a bum, and I have lain on that couch. I have lain around all week. I'm just a bum. I've just lain around, done nothing. Okay, not laid. That's putting something somewhere. I laid that book down. I have lain around all week just being a bum. Yeah, even yesterday, I lay on that couch for 2 hours. Lay. Yep, yesterday I lay on that couch for a couple of hours. I was so lazy. Lie, lay, Lay, and then lane. Those are the three main parts of the verb lie. Okay? Now, you're asleep now, you're totally confused, or you're thinking, who cares about this? Yeah, all three of those thoughts are valid, right? But someone asked me to talk about it, so I think it's good to at least know that that's a weird verb. And it is so weird and so problematic and doesn't make sense in a lot of ways that people just don't worry about misusing it, especially in speech. You know, nobody's considered ignorant because they misuse that verb. You know, I mean, unless you're really extreme, weird use of it. But people just don't. Yeah, I went late on the beach for a couple hours, did something. Almost everybody says that. When really it should be I lay on the beach for a couple. Lay. I lay on the beach for a couple of hours yesterday or something. Okay. The other thing that makes it even worse, the reason it doesn't register that that's the past tense, is it sounds like usually someone said laid, even if they use it correctly, because they're saying, and on top of that, I laid down. I didn't feel so good yesterday, so I laid down for a couple hours. Get the D there, so it sounds like they said I laid, even if someone says it correctly. I lay down for a couple hours, so it didn't feel good. I lay down for a couple hours. They roll through that. Well, it sounds like they said laid. Could be the English professor at Harvard says that, yeah, I laid down for a couple hours. And so oh wow, he knows grammar. He said I laid down. I guess that's correct. No, he didn't say I laid down. He said I lay down for a couple hours yesterday. So it's a weird verb. I highly advise you don't lose any sleep over it. But, someone asked me to talk about it. So it's one of those useless pieces of information that I have. Yeah. In the great scheme of things, what are my skills? I don't know. I can throw darts pretty well. I can shoot a gun reasonably well. I know a little grammar. Don't guess I'll be splitting any atoms or coming up with a cure for cancer. Sorry. All of my skills are, I don't know, rather useless, right? So anyway, that's a little grammar talk for you, and just to make your week. Life is good.